Hello everyone, I am Lalita Singh and you are going to study science with me in class 7. Today we are going to discuss our chapter 12 that is called transportation in animal and plants. In this chapter we will learn about transportation of material, circulatory system, excretion in animal and transportation of substance in plant as well. Now over here, transportation means transfer of a substance from one place to another. Okay, transportation means transfer of a substance from one place to another. So we in our body are having several substances which need to be transported from one place to another. For example, if we look at this plant need water which is absorbed by root and need to be transported in the leaf part, and leaf over here make food by the process of photosynthesis that need to be transported to every part of the cell, every part of the body, and that is done with the help of phloem. So transportation is needed in case of plant. In our case, we take oxygen from the environment through nostril into lungs, and from over there it is needed to be transported in every cell of the body. The nutrition we take, the food we take, getting digested in our alimentary canal, absorbed from small intestine through blood as well, and they are also needed to be transported to every cell of the body so that all the cell can utilize nutrient material to produce energy and do several other functions. Clear? So in this way we can say that all organisms need transportation system to transfer the needed substance to the particular site and to remove the waste material from the body. Okay, there are some example of animal in which we are going to study transportation. Okay, in single cell organism like amoeba, paramecium and some algae, material moved by diffusion. Just see the picture over here. These are the picture of single cellular organism like amoeba, like paramecium, euglena. They all live in water. Their general body surface is in contact with water which is having oxygen dissolved in it. So the molecule of oxygen which is needed by the organism get diffused into the body cell. Okay, the oxygen get transported into the body cell through general body surface by diffusion, and carbon dioxide from the body get diffused out through the general body surface as well, because the body structure of animal is very simple. It is made up of only one cell. Okay, and some multicellular organism like sponge, like hydra, which is the picture is shown over here of hydra. These are not well developed organism. Okay, hydra, multicellular algae, fungus, they are very small organism. The body is not very well developed. In these animal as well, the oxygen get transported into the body by through simple diffusion. You can see the general body surface of the hydra in this section having a very thin layer of cell which make it easy for the substances to get diffused into the body. Next is complex animal life, and plants have a well-defined transport system. It transports nutrient and oxygen for every body cell, hormone from the gland where they are formed to body cell where they are needed. Next is harmful excretory substances like carbon dioxide, ammonia, urea from the body cells to the excretory organ where they can be excreted out. These all things are needed to be transported in animal. Okay, and to transport this we need transport system. Clear? Now mode of transport in animal and in plant, the transport system is very different. Okay, in case of animal we are having circulatory system, and in case of plants are having vascular system. Vascular system is made up of vascular tissue, whereas circulatory system is having a well organized organ which help the blood to flow throughout the body. Okay, next topic is transportation in animal, that is circulatory system. The circulatory system is life supportive system and provide our body with food, with oxygen, and it take away all the waste product from the body like urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, etc. Circulatory system is a system of vessel which connect all the cell, tissue, organ of the body together. Parts of circulatory system are blood, which flow throughout our body, blood vessels in which blood flow, and heart, which push the blood into blood vessel. We are going to study about all of them one by one. The first one is blood, which is a red color viscous fluid. Viscous means it is thick and sticky in nature. Okay, it flow in the body inside the blood vessel. The blood in case of us never flow openly. It always flow in blood vessel. Blood is always residing inside the blood vessels. Okay, now function of blood is it supply food and oxygen to every body cell. Blood absorb nutrient from the small intestine and pass it to all living cells, whereas it take oxygen from the lungs and pass it to all the body cells. It helps to regulate the body temperature as well as it also protect the body against the infectious particle which may cause disease. It kills the germs before it can infect us. Okay, next is the blood has two components inside it. Blood is having two components. One is liquid and the second one is solid component. The liquid part of the blood is known as plasma, whereas the solid part of the blood is blood cells, or we can say corpuscles. We are having pictures of blood cells over here. This one is RBC, which is biconcave in nature, and all of these figures over here are examples of WBC having different kind of nucleus. Okay, and this is what blood platelets. Let's study about all of them one by one. Plasma is the first one. Plasma is the non-living liquid part of the blood. It is yellowish fluid. It removes carbon dioxide from the cell and transport it to the lungs. It also carries urea from the body cells to the kidney. Actually, plasma is the part of blood which make it easy for blood to flow in blood vessel. It is having large quantity of water, more than 90% water is present over here. Okay, it is having slightly pale yellow color and it dissolve all the waste material inside it. The carbon dioxide is also dissolved in plasma. Blood cells are not responsible for carrying other substances. Only RBC is responsible for carrying oxygen, but other rest of the substances are dissolved in plasma, which get transported from one place to another. Okay, plasma collect all the waste material from body cell and it passes these waste material to the kidney so that it can get filtered out. Next is blood cells or corpuscles are of three types. The first one is red blood cells. Red blood cells means these blood appear red in color, that is why we are calling them red blood cells. They are having color pigment which is known as hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is very essential for carrying oxygen because hemoglobin have capacity to bind with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin combined with 4 molecules of oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. These oxyhemoglobin are bright red in color and they are responsible for transportation of oxygen for all body cells. Next is white blood corpuscles. They defend the body against infection. They are called soldier of the body as well because they kill all the microbes which enter into the bloodstream. They kill them and treat us against infection. Okay, they fight against germs and also provide immunity against infection. Now next is blood platelets. It is also very important because it makes the blood clot when exposed to the environment. Okay, blood platelets are very essential because they are essential to make the clot out of blood when the injuries are exposed into the atmosphere. Okay, they are very minute and present inside the blood. Now next is blood vessel. Blood vessels through a system of tube called blood vessels. Blood vessels are of three types. The first one is artery, that is represented over here in red color. Second one is vein, that is appear over here in blue color. And the last one is capillary. It is a fine network of blood vessel. Okay. Arteries. Arteries have thick and muscular wall. They carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the body organ, and this is the correct definition of artery. Artery are those blood vessels which carry the blood away from heart. It take the blood away from heart. This type of blood vessel which take the blood away from heart is known as artery. Actually, artery also carry oxygenated blood. That is why they appear bright red in color. Okay. Artery do carry oxygenated blood, and that is why they appear bright red in color. This is their identification as well. But we have a exception over here, because pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood. So that is why we cannot define it as the blood vessel which carry oxygenated blood is called artery. It is not the true definition. The true definition of artery is the blood vessel which take the blood away from heart is called artery. Clear? The force of heart pumping keep the blood flowing through the artery. Because of the pumping force created by heart, the blood always flow through these artery. The blood in artery is bright red because it contains lots of oxygen. In artery, blood flow with a jerk under great force. We can feel the blood flow in radial artery on the inner side of wrist. Maybe you have feel pulse. Pulse is what? It is jerking movement of blood vessel which is over there because of pumping movement of the heart. When heart push the blood inside the blood vessel with a great force, the blood vessel jerk from its original position, and that is what called pulse. Okay, understood? Now, pulse is throbbing movement of radial artery. It is caused due to flow of blood under pressure due to pumping of heart. Pulse rate represent the number of heartbeat per minute. Means only when the heart will beat, the pulse will be created. When the heart will push the blood inside the blood vessel, only then pulse will be created. So we can calculate the pulse rate. We can count the pulse rate of 1 minute to know the condition of heart, working condition of the heart as well. Okay. Now, pulse rate in a healthy person is about 72 to 80 times per minute. Okay. Activity 1. In this activity, you need to feel your own pulse. Okay. And find out the pulse rate. For this, you have to place the index and middle finger of the right hand on the inner side of the wrist of your left hand and press it lightly. Feel the throbbing movement. The throbbing movement is called pulse, and the number of pulse or throb produced per minute is called pulse rate, which ranges between 72 to 80 beats per minute. Now, in activity 2, you are supposed to find out the pulse rate of your friends. Right now, in the corona period, you can, of course, try it with your family members. The largest artery in the body is called aorta. It rises from the left ventricle of the heart, and this branch out into arteries. On entering some body organ, each artery is divided into smaller vessels which end into fine capillary. You can see over here the capillaries are present like this. The fine network of the blood vessels which are very minute, very thin, are called capillary. The artery branch to form capillary, and capillary fuse to form veins. Clear? Now, so next part is vein. Veins bring blood from the body organ to the heart. This is the proper definition of vein. The blood vessel which carry the blood from the body organ towards the heart is called vein. They are thin walls are present over there. Valves mean this type of structure. Okay, valves are present over there to maintain one direction of flow inside the veins. The flow of blood in veins is not jerky because they are formed by fusion of capillary. Understood? And it is quite far away from the heart. The flow of blood in vein is not jerky, and the blood is deoxygenated in nature over here. Means blood is not carrying oxygen as well. Pulmonary vein is the only vein which carry oxygenated blood, and it receive the oxygenated blood from lungs to the left auricle of the heart. Vein being as capillary, they joined and rejoined to form large vein and open into right auricle of the heart. About heart we will study next, so that we can understand what is right auricle, what is left ventricle. Okay, now capillary. Capillary are the finest blood vessels. They connect arteries with vein. Actually, multiple fission of artery is going to form capillary, and when these capillary fuse together, they form veins. That is why the blood flow in veins is not jerky. Understood? The capillary are very thin walled structure. They are only one cell thick, means the layer of capillary is made up of only one cell. The capillary, where they join with artery, supply food and oxygen to the cell, means diffusion of substances like food and oxygen only take place through capillary because they are very thin. It cannot take place through artery, neither it can take place through vein, but only capillary are capable to exchange these substance, or from only capillary diffusion can take place. The capillary at end where these join with vein collect carbon dioxide and waste product from the cell, carry this to blood to vein. You can see these are the artery over here, red color one. Now they form many branch like structure which is a part of capillary. Now ultimately these branching get fused and form vein. In this way they are all are related. Artery form capillary and capillary form veins. Now clear? Next is difference between artery, vein and capillary. If we are going to study them, just keep one thing in mind, that arteries are receiving the blood from heart with a strong jerky movement. So to sustain over there, the arteries are much thick walled. Okay, arteries are thicker and have a narrow lumen, whereas vein, they are thin and they are having wide lumen. Clear? Now about capillary. Capillary are thin walled, narrow tube. Understood? Now in next point, in artery, blood flow from heart to the body part, whereas in case of vein, blood flow from body to heart. Clear? Whereas in capillary join artery with the veins and form a network of body organ. Network in the body organ. Artery with the vein and form a network in the body organ, means all the body organ is having a network of capillary present in them, and because of these capillary they are able to get nutrient and oxygen supply. Now next is artery. It supply blood to the body organ, whereas vein, it collect the blood from the body organ and bring it back to the heart, whereas in capillary it help in exchange of food, nutrient, oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood and tissue. Next point, artery carries oxygenated blood, whereas veins carry deoxygenated blood. In capillary both type of bloods are found. Okay. Now next is heart. This is the heart. Okay. Now heart is a muscular organ located in the thoracic or chest cavity between the lungs. It is tilted slightly toward the left. Thoracic cavity means the part below the throat and above the abdomen region. The abdominal cavity and thoracic cavity are separated by the presence of diaphragm. Heart is of the size of fist of a person and it is somewhat cone shaped. It has thick wall formed of cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscles are the muscles which continuously contract and relax. They never stop. These muscles contract and relax throughout the life and never get tired. Therefore, heart beat continuously and pump blood into the whole body. Clear? Means heart once when started to beat during the development of embryo, it is continuously to beat until the person is leaving. Okay, at the time of death only heart gets stopped. So that is why cardiac muscle is very, very important. Now our heart is having 4 chamber. Okay, our heart is having 4 chamber. You can see this is the first chamber, this is the second chamber, this is third chamber, and this is the fourth chamber. Clear? So our heart is having 4 chamber. Out of them, the first 2 are 2 auricle or atria. The first upper part, okay, the 2 upper part of the heart is known as auricle, whereas the 2 lower part of the heart is known as ventricle. As they are present in the right side and left side, they are known as right ventricle, left ventricle, whereas they are known as right auricle and left auricle. Each half has an auricle above and a ventricle below. The right half of the heart has deoxygenated blood. You can see they are in blue color, represented as blue in color. Okay, while the left side of the heart is having oxygenated blood or pure blood. Okay, that is why they are appeared over here is in red color. The septum prevent mixing of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood present in the right and left half of the heart. You can see the wall is present in between the 2 chambers. Okay, this is called septum, means a layer of muscle which separate the chambers are called septum, and it prevent the mixing of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. Now we will talk about right auricle first. This is the right auricle. Okay, this is the right auricle part of the heart. Right auricle are receiving chamber of the heart. They only receive the blood from the entire body. Their wall is thinner in comparison to the other. Okay, why? Because the blood which is collected throughout the body having low pressure, that is why it does not have a very thick structure over here. The right auricle receive deoxygenated blood from the whole body, while the left auricle receive oxygenated blood from the lungs. This is the left auricle and it receive blood from lungs through pulmonary vein. Okay, and over here this vein is the one which is having oxygenated blood. Now next is ventricle. This is the right ventricle. Okay, and this is the left ventricle. Ventricles are distributing chamber. Okay, auricle always receive the blood, whereas ventricle always distribute the blood. That is why ventricle is more thicker in comparison to auricle. The wall are thick. The right ventricle receive deoxygenated blood from the right auricle. The right ventricle receive deoxygenated blood from the right auricle, whereas left ventricle receive oxygenated blood from left auricle. Clear? Means ventricle always receive blood from their respective auricle. Clear, guys? The left ventricle is the largest heart chamber and has a thickest wall. Okay, you can see, you can compare the walls of the ventricle. The left side of the heart is having thickest wall. Why? Because they need to apply more pressure to push the blood into artery so that blood can circulate in the body. Okay, it receives oxygenated blood from left auricle and pump it to the whole body. There are valves present in the heart. These valves prevent the backflow of the blood in heart and blood vessel. They open and close about 1 lakh times a day. You can see this is the valve. Over here, this is the valve. Even the veins is having valves so that it can prevent the backflow of the blood. Okay, whenever valves are present, they are just simply preventing the backflow of the blood. Okay, now working of heart and circulation of blood. You can see there are several parts of the heart over here. This is superior vena cava. It receives the blood. Vena cava is 2. Okay, the right auricle receive blood from two veins, that is superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay, whereas you can see pulmonary veins are going from over here, okay, so that it can transmit the blood to left auricle. These are the different part of the heart present over here. Now one is working of heart and circulation of blood. You can see over here, this diagram over here is a representing diagram of showing circulation of blood in the body. This is the central part is the heart, whereas this is lungs, and over here the body cell are represented. Okay, now heart is having four chamber. The upper two are called atrium, whereas the lower two is called ventricle. Clear? Now atrium receive the blood because it is receiving chamber of the heart. Both atrium receive the blood from the body other part. For example, if we are talking about the right atria, it receives the blood from body. That is why the blood which is received over here is deoxygenated in nature, means it does not have oxygen with the blood. Whereas if we talk about left atria, it receives the blood from pulmonary vein which are coming directly from lungs. You can see they are coming from lungs. Okay, they are coming from lungs. That is why they are having oxygenated blood. The pathway is clearly shown over here. Okay, the arrows are showing the moving blood over here, whereas just see the blood has come into right auricles or atria from the internal organ of the body. So both of them are having different kind of blood, means right part of the atrium is having deoxygenated, whereas left part of the atrium is having oxygenated blood. Now both atrium when contract simultaneously, their capsid valve open. Valve are present over here. Valve are door like structure which allow the entry of the substance in only one direction. Okay, so now both atrium contract simultaneously and their capsid valve open, and blood from the left auricle come to the left ventricle, and from the right auricle it passes down to the right ventricle, means the auricle passes the blood to their respective ventricle. Clear? Now both atria relax. After transferring the blood to the ventricle, both atria get relaxed. Understood? And the capsid valve between the auricles and ventricle are slammed shut, and the semilunar valve between left ventricle and aorta open. Left ventricle is over here and aorta is this blood vessels, okay, aorta is this blood vessel, so it get open. Why? Because now is the time for ventricle to contract. When the ventricle get contract, the blood is pushed out from the ventricle to the pulmonary artery, and so just see over here, it is pulmonary artery which is going to take the blood into the lungs and to the aorta. Okay, and to the aorta which is going to take the blood to the body cells. Okay, in this way the blood flow. What happened over here? The deoxygenated blood has been passed to the lungs, just both side of the lung, and they get oxygenated and they get transferred through the pulmonary vein to the heart. Okay, which chamber of heart? It is the left auricle. Clear? We have already discussed what is artery, what is vein. Veins are those structure which take the blood towards the heart, whereas arteries are those structure which take the blood away from heart. So you can see that pulmonary artery is taking the blood away from heart. From where? From right ventricle. Okay, and pulmonary veins are taking the blood towards the heart. From where? From lungs. Clear? The blood that has been pushed into aorta passes to the body cells. All body parts receive oxygen from these blood cells because we are having a network of blood capillary in our body. You can see in this diagram we are having a quite good network in our body of blood vessels. These blood vessels carry the blood throughout our body and transfer all oxygen to the body cell, and in turns collect carbon dioxide from the cell, and vein help them to transfer again toward the lungs. Okay, and from lungs these carbon dioxide get eliminated. Understood? Deoxygenated blood from right ventricle is pumped into pulmonary aorta, is transported to the lungs by pulmonary artery for oxygenation. Now, next is heartbeat and heart sound. This we will study in our next video. Okay, until then, everyone, have a nice day.